Right, now this other part isn't really talked about, which is how to emotionally deal with cancellations. So cancellations are a normal part of running a PT business and any business really, but they can be really frustrating, discouraging, and they can feel personal. So it's really important that we manage our emotions and our mindset in a way that helps us move forward with confidence. And there's a couple of tools that we want to talk about. The biggest problem with businesses and running a business, particularly one that's so personally involved, like personal training business, is that we do tend to take things personally because we are generally the owner operator the whole way through. And a lot of the reasons why people cancel aren't to do with us personally, but we can't help but deal with it that way. And the reason why we don't succeed is because we let our emotions get in the way of the habits and behaviors that we need to perform on a daily basis. So if we can learn how to deal with the emotional struggle of people canceling, then we can be much more effective with everything else we have and also learn from it. So the first one is practicing self-compassion and reframing our cancellations. So it's understandable to have a cancellation, and actually telling ourselves that is probably a good thing. It is a part of running a business. So we need to have this expectation that we're not going to convert 100% of the clients we speak to. We're not going to maintain 100% of the clients that we have. I had a cancellation 2 days ago from someone. It is something that happens to every single business, to every single personal training company or gym, that this will happen. Okay? So we need to remember that it's not a reflection of your worth as a coach. The client who canceled the other day has struggled for an incredibly long time to do any type of training. So despite whatever kind of intervention that they've been given to help them, they did not really succeed. So, at some point this happens. This isn't the right thing for them. So if that happens, that's okay. So we can just deal with that. It's not a reflection of my skills. Okay. Now, what happens there, if the cancellation is something that's your fault, you can reframe that as an opportunity to refine your business and attract clients who are properly committed. So with this client leaving the business, I'm not worried about it at all. It's like, cool, there's another spot for me to coach someone who's actually ready to make the changes. Now, one thing we do need to do is not let frequent cancellations go unchecked. If we're getting a lot of cancellations, we need to look at why. So one student I've worked with gets a lot of cancellations at the 12-week mark because the programs sold are framed as 12-week programs. That's problematic because if they're framed as 12-week programs, guess what happens? People are probably going to leave at 12 weeks. So that's an opportunity to change the business and improve its structure. Now, the next thing is the reflection. So we need to understand why the cancellation happened. Now, some just happen, okay? Sometimes shit happens, and it's totally fine for shit to happen. We should still look at each cancellation for what was going on. So the client struggled with commitment, finances, or personal life changes that I had no influence over. So if a client is sadly and unfortunately diagnosed with cancer, they'll probably cancel their training. You have no control on that. That doesn't mean that you're a bad coach at all. It's just a normal and very sad circumstance that has actually happened. Was it due to communication, accountability, or unmet expectations that you can improve? That's a really good question to ask. So if I look at the client who I just lost, to use that as an example there, they have been assigned 2 or 3 coaches over their time frame. They've been communicated at a level that was really high. They've been asked what they want. They get delivered what they want. They never did the check-ins or met the expectations. So for them, cool, we had no influence over that. They had personal life changes going on, so it wasn't within our control. Have I had it happen in the past with clients that were in my control? Absolutely. So that's my fault, so I need to fix that. Now, with the client, were they fully aware of everything? Did they feel supported and engaged? You can look and reflect on that through that. Did you maintain strong concerns? Could I have built more trust, engagement, or accountability? With this client, to be fair, I didn't do as many check-ins as I probably should, simply because it got to the point where the client never responded to any of the messages. I went through their message bank the other day, and it was just message after message from us with very no response. So in that situation, it's kind of like, what can you do? We keep asking if they need help, and they don't respond. It's beyond the control of an online coach. And if there's a specific reason, then you want to kind of look for it. So if this client said training's not giving them what they need anymore, they need like a group environment or something like that, which is much better for them than online, and that's totally reasonable. So don't assume every cancellation means you did something wrong, but don't ignore patterns either. Okay. Now, what can be done for the future? So step number 1, identify what's working versus what needs adjusting. So what's keeping the successful clients engaged? Compare with clients who canceled. What were the key differences? For example, I generally see if clients stop checking in, that it's a sign that they will cancel at some point in the near future. Now, you can avoid that in a number of different ways. The booking call is a quick one, but also the most the quickest one I see is if a client quits in the first 2 to 4 weeks, and that happens a few times, it means your onboarding process sucks. So we need to improve it. So every cancellation can be reflected upon as a way to improve the business. For me, we, implement these small improvements. So if it's due to lack of engagement, we can do some different ways to catch dissatisfaction and give more feedback. If it's due to financial reasons, we might do a different tiered coaching option. If it's due to a lack of progress, then we can need to look at their programming or their actual application of it. If it's 3 month mark, it might be the point where motivation dips. So every cancellation is a learning opportunity rather than something you screwed up. If you frame it like that, it's such a better way to go about things. Now, what you can also do with cancellations is you can use these to adjust your mindset and your marketing strategy. You want to have the right expectations. So if people are looking for quick fixes, have your marketing based on it being more of a long-term thing and put that in sales. Okay, make that part of the process that you're going to do. And if a client constantly cancels, if it's real life and drains your time and you don't look forward to the session, it might be a blessing that they left. It might be a really good thing. So focus on the best clients you have rather than chasing retention of people that you really just don't want to work with. Okay, and don't make drastic changes based on one cancellation or lower your pricing just to retain clients. It's going to get less committed clients, and they're going to become more and more problematic over time and not respond to you, and they're going to demand more and more, even though they're paying less and less. Now, that happens across the board for every single trainer, so it happens all the time. So don't do that. And I've made that mistake. Now, self-care strategies that we can do. So after a client quits, a couple of things that you can do. Reaffirm your purpose. Why did you do this? Okay. You still got clients. It's still good. They're making progress every day. Yeah, if you want to have some support, talk to a mentor, talk to a colleague or something like that. Share the experience, and it feels overwhelming. Just step back and come back a day later. Often, all it needs is we need to take distance from the business to actually feel confident in the business. Again, don't obsess over cancellations. Just look at them as an opportunity, but if they are getting to you, don't ignore burnout and do protect your mental well-being. So use self-compassion to avoid self-blame. Reflect on patterns to see what you can improve. Implement small changes. See your business get better. Shift your focus to your better clients and take care of yourself. Cancellations can become a blessing in disguise. A lot of times we just need to reframe it as such.